My beloved, chosen ones. Have you ever realized that the ones who walk alone are the ones who walk the furthest? While the crowd seeks comfort, you, the chosen, carve paths through the impossible. Most people spend their lives drowning in distractions, reacting, controlled by the world around them, living in a constant state of noise. But you, the chosen ones, you've felt it, haven't you? That pull away from the herd, the cold silence of being different. For you, isolation isn't something to fear. It's the very place where you've been forged, where your strength has been honed. I learned this the hard way. One day, everything I thought I had, people, security, comfort, was taken away. It wasn't the loss itself that hurt the most. It was the loneliness. No allies, no support. Just me, standing in the void, staring into the abyss. And while that could have broken anyone else, I discovered something that changed everything. Loneliness doesn't break the chosen. It builds us. While the masses run from silence, you, the chosen, stand firm in it. While they search for constant validation and distractions, you turn those moments into self-mastery, honing your mind and spirit in the shadows. This is where the weak are separated from the strong. Solitude is not something you fear, it's where you awaken. Your mind clears, your instincts sharpen, and you start seeing what others remain blind to. And here's the most unsettling part for them. They can't control what they don't understand. Your very existence unsettles them. They fear that you don't need them. You've become something they can't manipulate, and that terrifies them. They watch from the shadows, confused, threatened, powerless, because nothing scares the ordinary more than someone who has mastered themselves. When you step fully into your power, people who once doubted you or looked down on you will start watching you in silence. They'll wonder how you survived what should have broken you. They'll feel the shift in you, the way you now move differently, the way you see through them, and the way you no longer react as they expect. But let me remind you, you are not alone in this. You are part of the rare few who don't just exist, but evolve. The chosen ones are the ones who embrace the darkness, walk through it, and emerge stronger than ever. And today, I'm about to reveal something that will hit you harder than anything you've ever heard. These are the 5 supernatural powers that make you unstoppable, the chosen one. Before we continue, I want to know if you've ever felt the weight of solitude, if you've sensed that you were never meant to blend in with the 80%, then this message is for you. Drop a 777 in the comments if you're ready to transform isolation into your greatest weapon. And I want to take a moment to thank every one of you who has supported the channel with a super thanks. Your generosity truly means the world to me. Whether you donate or not, your attention, your belief in this message, and your support are deeply appreciated. Thank you for being here with me today and for being a part of this journey. Now, let's dive in. Step by step, you will see yourself and your power in a new light. Let's begin. Stay sharp and let's continue this journey together, because the chosen ones rise above. God's chosen ones, 5 supernatural powers you develop in solitude that set you apart from 80% of others. Number 1, the ironclad mind. When pressure rises, the chosen stay unshaken. They watch, waiting for you to break. But the problem is, you don't. Have you ever stopped to wonder what makes you different? Why is it that, while most people are overwhelmed by the weight of the world, you remain calm and composed? What is it about you that allows you to navigate the storms of life with unwavering strength? The world is designed to break people. It pushes, it pulls, it grinds, and it seeks to exploit the weaknesses that reside in all of us. It gets under your skin, stirs up emotions, and drags you into a whirlwind that drowns most people. They react, they explode, they give in, they collapse under pressure. But not you, not the chosen. Why is it that when the world falls apart, you find a way to hold it all together? For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. You've walked through the fire, and instead of burning, you've become stronger. Instead of breaking, you've been transformed into something they can't comprehend. Unshaken, unreadable, untouchable. And that, my friend, terrifies them. Nothing scares the weak more than someone who refuses to be controlled by their emotions. They label you as cold, indifferent, unfeeling, but what they don't understand is that behind that calm exterior lies a mind that has fought countless battles and won. Most people can't stand silence. They drown it out with noise, distractions, and superficial conversations. But you've learned to sit in the silence, to be still, to reflect. It's in those quiet moments that you discovered your true strength. Have you ever experienced that moment of profound peace when the chaos of the world fades and it's just you and your thoughts? In those moments, most people are confronted with their deepest fears. But not you. You've learned how to look into the abyss and not flinch. Think about Nelson Mandela. For 27 years, he was imprisoned in the harshest conditions. While others would have cracked under the weight of isolation, he found peace in solitude. He retreated into his mind, allowing that silence to forge him into a leader who would change the world. How often do you allow yourself to retreat into that same silence, to cultivate your own inner peace, even when the world is trying to break you? Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. What happens when the noise fades away, when the world goes quiet and it's just you and your thoughts? The weak panic, the weak tremble, they become overwhelmed by their own minds. But the chosen grow stronger. They are refined in the silence, sharpened in the stillness. Solitude is your training ground. It's where weakness dies and strength is born. You know that the true battlefield isn't out there. It's inside your own mind. And it's on that battlefield that you have already conquered. Steve Jobs often retreated into solitude. He understood the power of quiet reflection, of time spent alone with his thoughts. He found clarity in those moments of silence, and it was in those moments that he shaped the future of technology. Could you too harness the power of solitude to create something meaningful in your own life? What if you allowed yourself the space to think, to reflect, to find your own vision amidst the chaos? Solitude is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. While most people seek constant distractions to avoid facing their own inner turmoil, you have learned the secret of controlling your mind. You are not afraid to face the thoughts that others fear. In fact, you've trained yourself to embrace them. What would happen if you used that power of silence to fuel your next great endeavor? Can you feel the immense potential that lies in those quiet moments? The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Galatians 5:22-23. The greatest minds throughout history understood this. Think of Abraham Lincoln, who faced perhaps one of the greatest moral and political crises in American history. During the Civil War, when the country was torn apart, he often took time away from the noise to reflect, to think deeply about the decisions he faced. His ability to maintain his calm and clarity of thought in such a turbulent time is what enabled him to guide the country through its darkest hour. How often do you give yourself the freedom to reflect, to clear your mind of distractions, and to focus on the bigger picture? How often do you give yourself the time and space to truly listen to what your soul is telling you? People will try to push your buttons. They will try to provoke you, to get a reaction. They think that if they can control how you respond, they control you. But when they look into your eyes and see nothing but calm precision, when their words and actions bounce off of you like pebbles hitting steel, that's when fear creeps in. Why is it that when others expect you to react emotionally, they are instead met with an impenetrable calm? Could it be that they fear what they cannot control? In moments of chaos, when everyone else is heated, you remain silent, you calculate, you stay 10 steps ahead. In arguments, when others are shouting, you are still. You observe. You wait for the right moment to strike or to walk away. It's in these moments that your power is most apparent. You are not bound by the reactions of others. Instead, you control your own mind, your own responses, and that gives you the ultimate power. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. Proverbs 29:11. The mind of a chosen one is like an ice-capped mountain. On the surface, calm, still, and immovable. But beneath that surface, a force of nature, a power waiting to be unleashed. What happens when you allow that power to emerge? What happens when you direct that inner strength towards something meaningful? The world doesn't know what to do with someone who refuses to be controlled by their emotions. That's what makes you different. You are not suppressing your emotions. You are not burying your feelings. You feel everything: the pain, the betrayal, the rage. But you've learned to channel those feelings into something constructive. You've turned your pain into power, your anger into focus, your fear into courage. And that makes you a formidable force. How often do you harness your emotions and turn them into tools for your success? What could you accomplish if you truly understood the power of emotional mastery? When most people react emotionally, you calculate. When they crumble under the weight of their feelings, you remain composed. When they are pulled in every direction by the chaos around them, you remain centered. They cannot break you. They cannot read you. They cannot control you. And that is what terrifies them. The greatest warriors, the strongest leaders, the most unshakable minds in history, they all had one thing in common. They knew that control over the world starts with control over the self. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you one of the few. The world will never understand the power that comes from controlling yourself when everyone else is out of control. And that power, it is yours. And it will always be yours. Now, let's keep going, because what comes next is even more dangerous. Are you ready? Number 2, the soul's X-ray. Seeing the unseen, unmasking the truth. Most people wear masks, but the chosen don't just see through them, they rip them off. Have you ever felt that uncomfortable feeling when someone is speaking, but something about their body language betrays them? They say, "I'm fine," but their eyes tell a completely different story. They flash a smile, but their energy is cold, dripping with resentment. It's like a veil has been lifted from your eyes, and you can see the truth even before they say a word. Why is it that you can read people so easily, while others are blind to the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface? What gives you this power? For the Word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. Hebrews 4:12. While most people stumble through life, drifting along and believing everything they're told, you see everything for what it truly is. You notice the slightest tremors in someone's voice, the faint hesitation in their words, the subtle tension in their shoulders. Most people would never even notice these things, yet you, the chosen, spot them immediately. That is the gift of X-ray vision. You can see beneath the surface, and you can feel what's hidden in their energy. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone said everything right, but you just knew there was something they weren't telling you. That's your gift, your ability to see beyond their words and into their true intentions. Why does this gift make others so uncomfortable? Why do they feel so exposed when you look at them? The truth is, you have the power to make them feel naked. No amount of charm, deception, or pretense can fool you, and that scares them to their core. They want to keep their masks on, to hide their true selves, but you are the one who exposes them. This ability didn't just appear out of nowhere, it was earned. While most people were busy filling every moment with distractions, you chose solitude. In the silence, you became a keen observer. You didn't just watch the world, you studied it. You learned to listen to more than words. You learned to hear the subtext, the unspoken truth behind every interaction. When everyone else was busy with the noise, you honed your ability to understand the deeper layers of reality. In solitude, you realize something chilling. People don't say what they truly mean. They don't even know themselves well enough to be honest. You began to notice the cracks in their words, the unspoken insecurities that they were too afraid to face. As the chosen, you saw the truth where others were blind. You didn't just listen, you felt the energy, the unspoken signals. You began to understand the language of the soul, the silent conversation that happens beneath every exchange. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. The world is a stage, and most people are just bad actors. They perform for the audience, pretending to be something they are not. They pretend to be kind, pretending to be confident, pretending to care. But you, the chosen, can see through their performance. The eyes, those windows to the soul, never lie. You can read their energy and feel the vibrations of their true intentions. Ever walked into a room and felt the weight of the tension before anyone even spoke? That's your gift, the ability to read the room before anyone else can. Your sensitivity to the undercurrents of human interaction sets you apart from the rest. You can feel when something is off, even when no one else can. Take Oprah Winfrey as an example. She has built an empire not just by being a good interviewer, but by reading the energy of her guests. She doesn't just listen to their words, she listens to their hearts. She picks up on the subtle cues that most people miss, which allows her to connect deeply with people from all walks of life. Oprah's ability to read her guests' true feelings and emotions is what made her one of the most influential figures in the world. Can you recall a time when you made a deep connection with someone without them even saying much? When you instantly knew they were genuine? You don't just hear words, you read the air. The subtle vibrations, the unspoken emotions that hang in the air. You know that when someone says, "I'm fine," their voice tells a different story. You know when someone says, "I'm happy," but their energy is heavy with sadness. While others might miss these signs, you are hyper-aware of every shift in the energy around you. The truth is, you see not just individuals, but the bigger picture. You see the power plays, the subtle manipulations, the unspoken motives behind every false smile. People hate that you can't be fooled. It makes them uncomfortable. They wish you'd just play along, pretend not to see what's so obvious to you. But you can't. Once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. How many times have you been in a situation where everyone else was oblivious to the truth, but you were the only one who saw it clearly? How often have you had to bite your tongue, knowing that what others were saying simply wasn't true? Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. John 7:24. Most people would rather live in comforting lies than face the uncomfortable truths you see. They ignore the red flags, they believe the sweet words, and they convince themselves that things are just fine when everything in their gut is screaming otherwise. But you, You trust the unseen. You trust your intuition. Your instincts guide you toward the truth, even when it is inconvenient or painful. This is why you cannot be manipulated. You are not fooled by smooth words or false promises. People can't figure out how to control you. Before they even speak, you already know what they will say, and that knowledge makes you untouchable. This is your weapon. The same ability that makes others uneasy, that causes them to avoid you or fear your gaze, is also what keeps you safe. While others walk blindly into traps, deceived by charming smiles and empty promises, you navigate life like a chess master, always 10 steps ahead. Have you ever realized how much power you hold when you can predict the next move of those around you? You see through their strategies, their plans, their schemes. You're not just immune to deception. You can use your insight to outsmart the game. Think about Steve Jobs again. His ability to read people and situations with uncanny accuracy allowed him to build Apple into the tech giant it is today. Jobs didn't rely on mere intuition. He could sense what people were thinking before they even voiced it. He knew who to trust and who to avoid, and this intuition gave him a decisive edge in the world of business. How often do you use this same insight in your own life when making decisions about who to trust or where to invest your time and energy? You know the feeling when you meet someone who isn't wearing a mask. There's no need for small talk, no forced smiles, no rehearsed words, just raw truth. That energy shift when two souls connect without pretense is powerful. These people are rare. But when two chosen ones cross paths, there's an instant recognition. It's like two warriors meeting on the battlefield. There's no need for explanations. You see each other for who you really are. Have you ever encountered someone like this? When you know, without a doubt, that they see you as you truly are, not as the world wants them to see. This is why your presence alone changes the energy of any room. People feel it when you walk in. Some will be drawn to you, fascinated by your depth, your clarity, your authenticity. Others will feel uncomfortable, even threatened, by how easily you can see through their facade. You change the dynamic, whether they like it or not. You are the force that shifts the atmosphere, and that is the power of the chosen. The power to see beyond the surface, beyond the illusions, beyond the distractions that keep most people lost. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. You know too much, and that makes you dangerous. Your ability to see beyond the surface allows you to protect yourself from deception, manipulation, and betrayal. It also empowers you to make deeper, more meaningful connections with those who are real. You can discern who is worthy of your trust and who is not. The world will never look the same once you embrace this gift. You see what others cannot, and that changes everything. So the question remains, how will you wield this gift now that you have it? And the next power, it's even more lethal. Let's keep going. Number 3, the razor mind phenomenon. Hyperfocus, instant clarity, unshakable decisions. The mind of the chosen is a blade, cold, sharp, and deadly accurate. While others drown in noise, you cut through it. While they hesitate, you decide. And that decision, that clarity, that focus, it makes you unstoppable. Have you ever found yourself in a high-pressure situation where everyone around you is paralyzed by confusion, yet you move with absolute certainty, knowing exactly what needs to be done? That's the power of the razor mind, the ability to slice through the distractions, to clear away the fog, and to act with precision, clarity, and purpose. It's a force that makes you distinct, and it's this very power that separates you from the 80%. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2:6. Most people wander through life blind, lost in the endless noise and distractions that the world throws at them. They fill their minds with unnecessary information, constantly seeking entertainment, validation, and approval. They chase after fleeting desires, focusing on things that don't matter, and this makes them slaves to chaos. Their thoughts are scattered, their decisions uncertain, and their minds overwhelmed. They hesitate, second-guess, and become paralyzed by their fears. But you are different. The chosen are different. You've discovered something that most people fear: silence. You have embraced it. In that silence, you've learned to cut through the clutter of your own mind, to clear away the distractions, and to focus. And in doing so, you've gained the gift of razor-sharp clarity, a precision of thought that allows you to see the truth while others are lost in confusion. Do you recall the first time you learned to embrace silence instead of running from it? It wasn't easy, was it? At first, your mind resisted. It filled the silence with old memories, past hurts, and fears of the unknown. But you stayed. You didn't give in. You allowed your mind to run wild, to fill the empty spaces with whatever it could find. And then, as the noise reached its peak, it began to fade. And in that quiet, you discovered something powerful: the ability to think clearly, to focus, to organize your thoughts and direct your energy where it matters most. This is how you develop the razor mind. You chose not to drown in distractions. You chose to embrace the silence and allow it to shape you. You didn't allow your mind to overwhelm you with unnecessary noise. Instead, you learned to cut through the chaos, to distill your thoughts to their purest form, and to make decisions with clarity and confidence. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Psalm 37:7. The world around you may be filled with distractions, people shouting for your attention, the constant buzz of notifications, the endless stream of opinions and judgments. But in the midst of it all, you remain composed. You have learned to stay still, to focus, and to listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the stillness within. And in that stillness, you hear the truth. You see what others miss. You have the ability to tune out the chaos, to clear away the confusion, and to make decisions with sharp focus and precision. This gift, the ability to cut through the noise and see things for what they really are, is what separates you from the majority. You've seen it in action. While others are lost in the swirl of confusion, wondering what to do, you've already made up your mind. While they hesitate, second-guessing themselves, you move with confidence and purpose. You don't waste time dwelling on doubts. You don't get lost in overthinking. You don't second-guess. When you make a decision, you stand by it. Your razor-sharp mind has already analyzed the situation, weighed the options, and seen the path forward with crystal-clear clarity. You are not paralyzed by uncertainty. You don't need to dwell on the what-ifs. You trust your mind, your instincts, and your ability to make the right choice. How often have you found yourself in situations where others were stalling, unsure of what to do, while you were already making decisions and moving forward? That's the razor mind in action, swift, precise, and unshakable. The clarity you possess isn't a gift. It's earned. It's the product of years of practice, of training your mind to focus, of pushing past the distractions that most people cling to. While others can't sit with their own thoughts for 5 minutes without seeking a distraction, you've learned to face your mind head-on. You've walked through the silence and allowed it to break you, shape you, and refine you. And it's in that silence that you've found your true strength. Most people fear the silence because it forces them to face their inner turmoil. It forces them to confront their doubts, their insecurities, and their deepest fears. But not you. You faced it, and in doing so, you transformed it into a weapon. Your mind is no longer clouded by doubts or confusion. It's sharp, focused, and precise. For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. You have cultivated the ability to focus, to cut through the noise, and to see the truth. But it's not just about seeing things clearly. It's about acting on that clarity. When the world is filled with confusion, when others are lost in indecision, you move with purpose. You don't waste time overthinking. You act swiftly, confidently, and decisively. You've trained yourself to cut through the fog of doubt, to make decisions without hesitation, and to stay focused on what truly matters. And that is why people fear you. They can't manipulate someone who sees the truth. They can't control someone who is not blinded by emotions. They can't stop someone who moves with absolute certainty. Take Winston Churchill, for example. During the darkest days of World War II, when the future of the world hung in the balance, Churchill made decisions that would shape the course of history. He didn't hesitate. He didn't dwell on doubts or overthink his choices. He acted with clarity, purpose, and confidence. He had the razor mind, and it allowed him to see the path forward, even when others were paralyzed by fear. How often do you find yourself in positions where you must make important decisions quickly and without hesitation? How much more effective are you when you act with the same clarity and confidence that Churchill demonstrated? The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Proverbs 16:9. This clarity is not about being perfect. It's not about making the right decision every time or never having doubts. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of uncertainty. But the difference is, you won't stay there. The chosen don't drown in confusion. They cut through it. They don't waste time overthinking or second-guessing themselves. When they face a decision, they cut through the fog of doubt and make it. You don't allow confusion to hold you back. You don't let fear paralyze you. You have trained your mind to stay calm, focused, and decisive. And when the rest of the world hesitates, you will be the one standing at the finish line, calm and unshaken. The razor mind is a weapon. It's the ability to see the truth when others can't, to make decisions quickly and confidently, and to act with precision. It's the ability to cut through the distractions, to clear away the confusion, and to stay focused on what matters. And that, my friend, is what makes you unstoppable. You've trained your mind to move with purpose and clarity, and nothing will stand in your way. Now, let's move forward, because what comes next, it's even more powerful. Ready? Let's explore the next incredible gift that you possess. Number 4, the echo of pain. Feeling what others fear to face. They fear what they cannot hide. They smile, they pretend, they perform, but under your gaze their masks crack and their pain bleeds through. Have you ever stepped into a room and felt the tension shift? Like an invisible force surrounded you, as if you could sense the unspoken struggles others were trying to conceal. Most people can only see the surface, the smiles, the laughter, the friendly gestures. They believe what they're shown, accept what they hear, and never question the illusion. But you, the chosen, don't just see people, you see through them. It's like you have an innate ability to look past the act they put on and see what lies beneath. Your presence alone makes people uncomfortable, and they don't even know why. They might try to hide it, pretending nothing's wrong, but deep inside, they feel exposed. What is it about you that causes this shift in energy when you enter a room? It's because they sense something different about you. It's not your outward appearance, but something deeper, a rare, unspoken awareness that you carry. While most people live in a world full of illusions, you're able to see the truth of what they suppress. You don't need their words to know what they're hiding. Their energy speaks louder than their words. Their silence is louder than their smiles. The subtle shifts in their body language, their hesitations, the tremors in their voice, these are the things you pick up. You feel what they try to conceal, and that terrifies them. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. This ability is not something you asked for, it's something that was forced upon you. Before you could read others, you had to first confront your own darkness. You were led into solitude, a place where you were compelled to face every unhealed wound, every buried fear, every scar left by the world. You couldn't run from your past. No distractions could fill the void anymore. Have you ever felt the suffocating weight of those unspoken struggles? The moments when you had no choice but to face the truths you'd long avoided. In that solitude, you came face to face with your own pain, and that experience changed you forever. Pain, when understood, becomes a powerful teacher. You walked through the fire of your own suffering and emerged with the ability to see that same fire burning in others. When you've walked through fire, you recognize the burn scars on others. When you've battled your own demons, you recognize the war in someone else's eyes. Pain recognizes pain, and that's what makes you dangerous. You see past the masks they wear. Most people live in denial, deceiving themselves about the state of their emotional lives, convincing themselves that everything is fine. They build towering walls to hide what's truly inside, so high that even they can forget what's buried beneath. But you walk into a room and within seconds you've already read the energy. You see through their forced smiles, their defensive postures, their hidden fears. You see the sadness behind the laughter, the insecurity beneath the arrogance, the desperation veiled by confidence. You don't need to hear their words, you feel what they hide. You see beyond the facade, and that terrifies them. For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. 2 Chronicles 16:9. People can't stand being exposed. Even if you don't speak a word, your presence alone creates an unease in the room. The discomfort isn't because of what you say or do, but because they know deep down that they can't hide their truth from you. They can feel that you see them for who they really are, and that is something most people are not ready to face. But here's where you differ from the rest. You don't use this power to manipulate or hurt others. You don't expose them to shame or guilt. You use your ability to understand, to heal, to connect. You see through the noise, the distractions, the false faces, and instead, you connect with people in a way that most can't even imagine. You don't exploit their vulnerability. You use it to offer genuine understanding and comfort. Think of someone like Barack Obama. As a leader, Obama had the rare gift of connecting deeply with people from all walks of life. He could listen to someone's story, feel their pain, and offer a response that wasn't just thoughtful, but deeply empathetic. His speeches often resonated with people, not just because of the words he said, but because he had an uncanny ability to sense their pain, their hopes, and their fears. He used his understanding of people's emotional states to not only build bridges, but also to inspire change. People were drawn to him, not because he was perfect, but because he truly saw them for who they were. It wasn't the words he spoke that made him powerful, but the way he connected with people on a deeply personal level. Like Obama, you too have the ability to see people for who they truly are, beneath the surface, beyond the act. In a world full of illusions, the chosen ones are rare. They don't play the game. They see through it. They don't pretend to fit in with what others expect. They step into a room and shift the very energy within it. This is why people are drawn to you, even if they don't fully understand why. They sense that something is different about you. It's not about your looks, your accomplishments, or your status. It's the way you connect with them on a deep, unspoken level. They might not always understand why, but they feel that you are real. You don't put on a show. You don't wear a mask. What you see is what you get, and that's what people find magnetic. But not everyone reacts the same way. Some will gravitate toward you, seeking solace, comfort, and understanding. These people will open up to you, share their deepest secrets, and leave feeling lighter, as if a weight has been lifted off their shoulders. They might not know exactly why they feel this way, but your presence helps them confront the pain they've hidden for so long. Others, however, will avoid you, reject you, or even resent you. Why? Because they aren't ready to face what you force them to see. They've spent their lives running from their own pain, hiding behind distractions and masks. When you come along, they can't run anymore. They are forced to confront the truth they've spent years suppressing, and that is something they fear, because the truth is uncomfortable. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. This gift, the ability to feel what others hide, to see their pain even when they don't want to show it, is both a blessing and a burden. It allows you to connect with others in ways they never thought possible, but it also leaves you with the weight of their pain. You can feel everyone else's suffering, but how many truly understand yours? Who reads the reader? Who heals the healer? This is why, despite your ability to heal and understand others, the chosen often walk alone. Not because you want to, but because so few can truly carry the weight of the sensitivity you bear. The world may try to ignore pain, but you've learned to live with it, to embrace it, and to understand it. You've learned to turn it into power. But here's the truth. This sensitivity, this ability to feel what others fear to face, is not a burden. It is the ultimate weapon. While others are blind, you see. While they react, you understand. While they guess, you know. You are the mirror that reflects the hidden truths. You don't manipulate those truths. You help others see them, accept them, and heal from them. That's why they fear you, admire you, and will never forget you. This is why you will always be different from the 80%. Your ability to feel the pain of others, to see the truth beneath the surface, is a rare and powerful gift. It connects you to others in a way that most can never experience, and it offers you the chance to heal, to understand, and to guide. This is why, despite the loneliness that may sometimes accompany it, you are never truly alone. You are always connected to those who need your insight, your empathy, and your strength. Now, let's move forward, because what comes next, it's even more powerful. Ready? Let's explore the next extraordinary power that you hold. Number 5. The Time Alchemist. Turning isolation into power, loneliness into gold. They waste time, you weaponize it, and that's why they will never catch up. Most people fear time when they are alone. It stretches, drags, weighs down on them. It's a constant reminder of their own isolation. They panic, they distract themselves, they run. Why? Because silence exposes what they refuse to face. The truth, the noise, the emptiness they bury deep inside. But you, the chosen, you do the opposite. You don't run. You don't fear time. Where others see emptiness, you see opportunity. Where they feel boredom, you feel evolution. This is where your power lies. You are the time alchemist, the rare ones who don't let time pass by. You bend it, you break it, you forge it into something greater. While the 80% waste their days chasing distractions, you are in the shadows, sharpening your mind, mastering your emotions, and transforming solitude into an advantage they will never have. Think about it. Have you ever noticed the way people scramble for validation, constantly seeking external validation and distractions? They're caught in a web of noise, constantly moving from one source of entertainment to another, avoiding their own thoughts, their own self. It's a cycle of self-doubt masked by action, and the pace never lets up. Their minds are prisons they can't escape, so they bury themselves in distractions, thinking if they move fast enough they'll never have to face what's inside. But when you strip all that away, when you remove the endless conversations, the meaningless scrolling, the fake friendships, who are they really? Empty, scattered, directionless. And you? You've done the opposite. You've chosen to sit in silence, not to escape from the world, but to understand it. You've made silence your ally, and that's what makes you dangerous. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. While others are running in circles, wasting years on things that don't matter, you are years ahead, in the shadows, building, learning, refining yourself into something unstoppable. The power of time is something few understand, and even fewer control. It doesn't wait, it doesn't pause. Time keeps moving forward, and the majority of people waste it without thinking twice. But the chosen have cracked the code. You know that time is not a gift. Time is a tool. Time is a currency. Time is a force that, when mastered, gives you an edge over the rest of the world. It's about using every second, every moment to build something greater, something they can't even begin to comprehend. Think of it like this. Imagine two warriors. One spends their days lost in distractions, caught up in the noise, reacting to everything thrown at them. They're constantly busy but never truly productive. Their progress is hindered by the chaos of their thoughts. The other, they step back. They retreat into silence. They train in the shadows, sharpening their skills, studying their enemies, preparing for battles before they even arrive. They use their time to learn, to grow, to evolve. When the moment finally comes, who wins? The one who used their time wisely, and that warrior is you. You are not wasting your time on trivial distractions. You are forging your future, preparing yourself to strike when the time is right. Make the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Ephesians 5:16. This isn't just about sitting alone or being isolated. This is about refining yourself when no one is watching. This is about taking every hour that others waste and turning it into strength, knowledge, wisdom, and clarity. When you're in solitude, you aren't just enduring the silence, you are thriving in it. You've learned to use every moment to sharpen your mind, build your emotional resilience, and grow in ways others cannot. The difference is, while they waste their time chasing temporary pleasures and distractions, you are working on mastering yourself, creating something real and lasting. You've learned that one truth is constant. The world rewards those who have mastered time, and it destroys those who take it for granted. Those who waste time chasing fleeting pleasures will one day look back and realize they missed their chance to truly live. But not you. The chosen see time differently. They see it as the most precious resource, one that cannot be replaced. And that's why you turn every second into something that builds your strength, your wisdom, your understanding of the world. You have become the master of your time. And that is a power that can never be taken from you. Most people confuse loneliness with emptiness. They fear being alone because they associate it with weakness, with something missing. But the truth is, solitude is not a void. It is a forge. It is the place where you melt down your weaknesses, reshape your mind, and emerge sharper than ever. You've learned to use solitude not as a punishment, but as a refining process. While others dread the quiet, you embrace it. While they seek validation in external things, people, social media, mindless entertainment, you seek something far more valuable, self-mastery. You start seeing things clearer. You recognize patterns in people, in yourself, in life. You learn patience, discipline, how to control time rather than let it control you. Think of someone like Leonardo da Vinci. Not only was he a painter, a scientist, and an inventor, but he was also a master of time. Da Vinci spent hours, sometimes days, working alone, refining his ideas and observations. He didn't waste his time on idle distractions. Instead, he devoted his time to learning and creating, constantly evolving his craft and understanding of the world. His time in solitude, away from the noise of society, allowed him to develop concepts that were far ahead of his time. How often have you found that your most powerful ideas come when you are alone, reflecting, learning, evolving? And here's what scares them the most. When you return, when you step back into the world after refining yourself in the silence, you are unrecognizable. You move differently. You speak with conviction. You make decisions with clarity. You've emerged stronger, sharper, more focused and more powerful than before. And the people who once knew you, they don't know how to handle the new you. Why? Because while they were busy wasting time chasing temporary highs, you were building an empire within yourself. Now they can feel it. They can feel the presence of someone who doesn't need anyone, the confidence of someone who spent their solitude mastering every aspect of their mind, the aura of someone who cannot be manipulated, distracted, or swayed by the trivial things that consume everyone else. Do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, serve the Lord. Romans 12:11. This is the power of time alchemy. It's not magic, it's not luck. It's the unbreakable discipline of knowing that while the rest of the world burns time like it's infinite, you are turning every second into something they will never have. You've transformed isolation into power, solitude into gold. And this is why the chosen rise while others stay stuck. They waste time, you weaponize it. While they are drowning in distractions, you are mastering your fate. It's why those who once laughed at your isolation now watch in silence, wondering how you became so untouchable. They'll never catch up, because while they wasted time, you became the master of it. And that is your greatest power. Because time is the one thing they can never get back, and the one thing they'll never be able to steal from you. So, chosen one, are you using your solitude, or is it using you? Because once you master this, there is nothing they can do to stop you. And now let's move forward, because the next power, it's even more dangerous. And just like that, you see the difference now. You are not like the 80%. You never were. While they run from solitude, you embrace it. While they fear the silence, you sharpen yourself in it. Every moment alone, every second spent in self-mastery, every hour invested in growth, it all adds up. And the best part? They don't see it coming. They wasted their time. You weaponized yours. They drowned in distractions. You thrived in isolation. They feared being alone. You turned it into your greatest strength. This is what makes you different. This is what makes you unstoppable. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Think for a moment. How many people do you know who avoid solitude at all costs? They fill every quiet space with noise, distractions, and mindless activities, anything to escape the silence that forces them to face themselves. They spend their days scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, jumping from one interaction to another, never truly allowing themselves to sit in the stillness of their own minds. And why do they do this? Because silence exposes what they're afraid to confront, their inner world. They fear what lies beneath the surface, doubts, insecurities, and untapped potential they refuse to face. But you, the chosen one, are different. You don't run from solitude, you've learned to embrace it. In those quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away, you find the space to grow, to learn, and to evolve. You've taken what others see as emptiness and turned it into a forge, a place where your mind sharpens, your spirit strengthens, and your power grows. Every second spent in solitude is an opportunity to refine yourself, to master your emotions, and to build something inside that others can't even begin to comprehend. Have you ever realized just how much power solitude holds? It's not just about being alone, it's about what you do with that time. Do you use it to improve, to grow, or do you waste it, allowing the hours to slip by unnoticed? The key to your transformation is in how you choose to spend your time alone. It's the difference between just existing and mastering yourself. While others are wasting their time running from themselves, you are quietly becoming a force to be reckoned with. The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool invites ruin. Proverbs 10:14. Every hour you spend honing your skills, every moment you use to study, reflect, and challenge yourself, it all adds up. It compounds over time. And when the world least expects it, you step out of your solitude and they won't recognize the person you've become. You'll move with a quiet power, speak with unwavering conviction, and make decisions with clarity and confidence. The best part? They won't even see it coming. The people who once dismissed your isolation, the ones who thought you were wasting time, will soon realize that while they were distracted, you were building something indestructible. Take someone like Elon Musk, for example. Musk is known for his relentless focus and the amount of time he spends alone, reflecting and working on his ventures. He's been very open about his commitment to spending hours alone, thinking deeply, refining ideas, and pushing the boundaries of what is possible. While others might have seen his isolation as an eccentricity, he used it as fuel to revolutionize multiple industries. He didn't waste time. He weaponized it. And now, people are catching up to the results of his solitary work. They see his success, but what they don't see is the immense amount of time he spent working on his vision when no one else was looking. In the same way, you've learned to use your solitude as a weapon. You don't waste time, because time, when used wisely, is your greatest asset. When others were out chasing temporary pleasures, you were investing in your future. While they feared being alone, you turned it into a place of growth and self-mastery. And that's what makes you different from everyone else. While most people are consumed by distractions, caught up in endless noise, endless chatter, and endless validation, you've chosen a different path. You've learned that true power comes from within, and that power is forged in silence. In solitude, you've learned to connect with your truest self, to build the strength that others overlook. Your isolation has made you strong. While they feared being alone, you turned it into your greatest strength. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. So, chosen one, are you using your solitude, or is it using you? The moment you realize the incredible power that solitude holds is the moment everything changes. When you master the art of being alone, when you make it your sanctuary, you unlock a level of growth and power that the world can't touch. This is the gift of the chosen ones, the ability to transform isolation into something far greater than anyone can imagine. And that is why you will always be ahead of the curve. While the rest of the world wastes time, you've learned how to master it. You've learned how to turn it into gold. This is what separates you from the 80%. While they are constantly chasing distractions, you are building your inner world. While they fear silence, you are thriving in it. While they waste their days in mindless pursuits, you are using every second to grow and evolve into someone untouchable, unstoppable, and unshakable. This is why they can never catch up. They don't understand how you've used your time to build yourself into something greater than what they see in the surface-level world. But you do, and that is what gives you the edge. Beloved chosen one, what will you do with this knowledge? Because knowing you are chosen is not enough. Living like it is what sets you apart. In this world, most people will walk away from this video and return to their distractions. running away from their own truths, avoiding their solitude, and continuing to waste their time in ways that never lead to transformation. But you, the chosen, you won't. You'll see every second for what it is, an opportunity. Every moment of solitude will become fuel for your growth. Every second spent away from the noise will be a step toward your highest potential. You will never again waste time like they do. You'll recognize that time is not just a passing moment. It's a tool, a currency, and a force you now control. And soon enough, those around you will begin to see it too. They will witness the transformation you're undergoing, and they won't be able to ignore the difference between them and you. As you continue your journey, always remember that the true power lies in your hands. The power to use time wisely, to thrive in solitude, and to rise above the distractions that others drown in. You have already started to walk a path that few will ever understand, because the chosen ones don't follow the crowd. They lead, and your unique journey has just begun. The best part, you are equipped to navigate this journey with the strength, clarity, and wisdom that you've unlocked within yourself. I want to thank you deeply and genuinely for taking this time to reflect on the path of the chosen. If this message has hit you at the core, if you know deep down that you are one of the rare ones who will not let distractions define you, then I humbly ask you to consider showing your support through a super thanks. Your support, whether financial or just through your continued engagement, is more appreciated than words can express. It's your attention, your focus, and your commitment to your own growth that means the most. Whether you donate or not, I am so grateful for your presence, and I am honored to be part of your journey. At the same time, I want to send you my deepest blessings. You are not just a chosen one in name. You are chosen because you have the strength to look at the truth and face it head on. My prayer is that you continue to walk this path with resilience and courage. May you never stray from the path of self-mastery, and may every moment of solitude that once felt like an empty void now be your greatest asset. May your power, wisdom, and clarity grow with each passing day. And as you walk this path, know that you are becoming exactly who you were meant to be, a force that cannot be manipulated, distracted, or swayed by the trivialities of the world. The world may not be ready for what you are becoming, but you are. You've already started to unlock the power of time, solitude, and self-mastery, and as you do so, you will rise above those who waste their time and remain blind to the opportunities in front of them. But you see them all. You see the path forward, and now it's time to keep moving, to keep growing, to keep mastering the art of transformation. Thank you again for being here, for being part of this journey. And if this message spoke to you, if it resonated deeply with you, share it. Share this truth with someone who needs to hear it. Because the world needs more chosen ones who are brave enough to embrace their solitude and use it to transform not only themselves, but the world around them. The transformation you are going through is just beginning. It's time to rise higher. The best is yet to come, and I have no doubt you will be leading the way. See you in the next one. Stay sharp, continue growing, and remember, you are not just walking the path of the chosen, you are becoming the embodiment of everything you were always meant to be. Keep sharpening your mind, keep mastering your time, and keep using your solitude to craft a life that cannot be touched by distractions. Thank you, chosen one. Keep moving forward. Your journey is just beginning.